Welcome, everybody. I am so happy that you're here. So we have about 5 people on the call this evening, myself included. We also have our producer, director, and marketing man for the evening, Brent. So let's just do a little instructional at the top of the phone call. You have several options. Of course, if you click the little phone button, then you'll go away, and that will be very sad. You can click the record button, the little video button, and then we'll be able to see your beautiful face. I know that it's 7 o'clock in the evening, and so you might be eating, wrangling kids, or any number of other things that maybe even be in your pajamas. So the other option is that there is a little microphone, and if you click the microphone, then it will mute you. So I definitely encourage that if there's any background noise, and then just click that when you're ready, and then we can hear you again. Next to that is the number 5. That means that there's 5 of us on the call, and we might get some more people as we go along, and we're happy to welcome them. If you put your name in, then we'll be able to see your name. Otherwise, we'll just see your phone number. And next to that is a little chat bubble. Now, because there's just a few of us, we'll go ahead and chat live. So when you unmute and you talk, if your video is on, then we'll see your face. Otherwise, we'll just hear your voice, and that's great too. And I think that's pretty much it for the logistics of all of it. So welcome, and we're happy you're here. I think the first thing that we're going to do is take a deep breath and settle into the call. This is our road trip together. So this is our first stop. I sent you a little email earlier today. We're going to try to get that email out a little bit earlier next time. But we're on a road trip. We're sitting at a diner. We're in a booth together. There's 5 of us. It's not too crowded, but it's definitely intimate. So I hope that we can kind of put ourselves in that diner on the roadside with our waitress Flo and tuck into the evening. I've got my iced tea is what I ordered. I hope that you ordered something, and you're going to join us. So you got a tribe tool. And that tribe tool was called the Things I Love list. So that's kind of how we're going to do our introduction, is just go ahead and tell us your name, and then tell us a little bit about your journey with that tool and what you discovered about what you loved. It could be anything from maybe there's something that you love that you're not doing, and you just remember that you love to do that. Or maybe you didn't even know that you loved something, and you realized it along the way while you were putting your list together. So there's only a few of us on the call, 3 people on the call other than me. So feel free to go ahead and take a little bit of time with that introduction. Is there anybody that wants to go first?
Lori, I nominate you.
Ha! All right, then. This is Laurie, and I did get my 25 things I loved. And actually, I was kind of surprised at how it wasn't as easy as I thought, because I tend to love everything. So I thought, oh, yeah, I'm going to whip this out. And I actually scored the last 10 or so. I had to really kind of think, okay, well, what else? So let's see. I was not surprised by anything. One thing that came up that was kind of a surprise, I guess, was I loved being pregnant. And that was something that I put down.
Oh.
And I hadn't thought about that in a long time. And it's not the typical, I love shoes or thrift stores or movies. It was definitely it stands out in my list. That's a little unusual.
That's awesome. And that obviously was not on your childhood list. So
there was a little crossover, but that was not one of them.
That is really cool. Yeah, I didn't think of that one. That's a really good one. All right.
I'll go next because I nominated you. This is Lorraine Mosier. And I realized how I really had an intense connection with nature and things in nature. Just even elements like water and how involved water was in my life, and fire and how involved fire was in my life. So I was surprised at the crossover between the things that I love today and the things that I love from childhood, and just researching some of those memories and things like that, and just some of the overlap and just ways that have changed. So it was powerful in that way.
That's wonderful. So it sounds to me like you did a little more of the, and there's no right or wrong way to do it, but the list is built to first just sit down and do an intense like brainstorm and get everything out that you can possibly think of, and then like Lori said, you do start to run out of things that you love. And so if you start walking through your day and just going, oh, I really, like one of the things that I thought of that sounds really strange, but I thought of, I love hardwood floors. I've lived in all kinds of places, and that brought up memories of all the places I've lived, and having carpets and not having carpets, and shag carpets, and all kinds of things like that, and the fact that I just, I really like hardwood floors, and that's kind of a random thing to walk around your day and think about, but it did bring that up, yeah, and I think that just like any story that comes from, like when we compliment each other on something, a lot of the things that we love have something behind them. They have a story behind them that is built from some experience. So, but it sounds to me like you kind of did some walking through your days and built on the list from just your day to day, and it's a consciousness that you start to have, which is really cool about what you love. So. I don't know if our other caller is available to participate just yet. I know she was in dinner.
I'm here.
You are here.
Listening.
Good. Well, are you interested in? That's good. Oh, yum. Are you able to tell us a little bit about your list journey and what you came up with?
Yeah, so I was able to just get whip through the first 25 things.
Of course.
And of course, right. And then when I went to 25 more things, I got to number 9, and then I kind of fizzled out. And then started working on my things I loved as a child. And like Lorraine, I have a lot of outdoor things on my list as well. And swimming. I've swimming, climbing trees, catching frogs when I was a kid. It was my favorite thing to do.
You and me should go swim and catch frogs.
We totally should. And jump on the back of a horse. Oh, that's one I have to hiking, picnics. I just love the wind in my face when I'm riding my bike, gardening, shade, nature, clean sheets. It was so eye-opening just to and then when I was doing this, I just felt so happy. I don't know about you guys, but I just felt so happy and peaceful when I was going through making this list. I was putting myself into this.
Yeah, I like that too.
Everything that I love in it.
Yeah. To put you in a very positive mindset, and also realizing how many things in the world or in our day-to-day that we actually do love. A lot of times we tend to focus on the things that we don't like, right? And the things that are going wrong, or the things that we want to fix. So what about things did you find anything that you are not doing that you love, and you thought, why am I not doing that?
Yeah,
or I want to do more of that.
I haven't been catching frogs lately, so we need to make a frog day.
Well, and I also
performing. I'm not performing as much as I used to love to, but it's just because I'm not in that stage of life right now, I don't think.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. And our next tool will build on that a little bit. I think the other thing that I thought about sometimes were the things that I love that I haven't, that I want to try forward, right? That I want to share with other people, that I want to either teach my kids or nieces or nephews, or just share with friends or colleagues. That was one of the things that came up as well.
That's
Good.
really good. I
Yeah.
realized through this exercise, too, that I don't appreciate myself enough. Like I'm constantly on this achievement treadmill. And so with having to redirect some of my attention to other things and even my health and things like that, it reminds me of the perspective of looking at my accomplishments and going, I'm enough.
Yeah.
I'm enough. So that was really valuable.
Good. You'll like this next, when we get toward the end, you'll like the next tool too. So let's talk a little bit about why you've joined the coaching series and what we all, whether we want to or not, always have expectation of some kind, and we kind of have an idea of where something's going to go. I have asked you to let me be the driver and have the navigation and just kind of be along for the ride. But if there was anything that you are hoping for this coaching series that you're going to gain from it, what are some of the things that when you clicked join and signed up, you're like, I want to do this because why?
I honestly wanted to do this
ahead.
because I wanted to see us package up some of our curriculum and really get it fine-tuned to a way that we could deliver it in such a powerful way to others.
I think for me, on a personal level, I think I haven't done any like personal coaching before, so the fact that I'm able to do it with my friends and also help kind of assist the tribe in its goals is really exciting. I'm looking forward to just kind of spending some time thinking about what it is I'm doing right now and whether or not it's the thing I want to be focused on and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Just personal growth,
Yeah,
and it sounds like and there's some professional growth, personal growth, professional growth, yeah, and yeah. Anybody else? Some personal goals. Well, and coaching is it's a really big word, and it has some baggage with it. Some people are really into it, and some people really poo-poo it. And there's a lot of life coaching in our Tribe Talk podcast. We talked to someone today who's a transformational coach, which is different than a life coach, which I didn't know. And so there are a lot of different ones. And of course, this is very specifically focused on women supporting women and how to do that. And one of the things that we find is in this first week, in this first step, that self-focus leads to how we build better tribes, and it leads to how we build healthier tribes and how we manage that. And then it also leads to how we lead and how we support each other and how we lift each other up. So hopefully that's part of everyone else who will be listening to this recording later and for the week. That they will also email in. So that's the other thing about this is that anybody who's not on the call can email me at any point in time. Any questions that come up, any comments, if you want to tell your story, if you want to talk to us about your journey and making your list and your observations. One of the really cool things about what we're doing with this online platform is that we'll bring those stories together and share them with everyone, with or without your name. A lot of times what ends up happening is that we start telling the same stories, and that just builds consensus and commonality and helping us realize that we're much more alike than we are different. So good. Well, did anybody have any so let's go ahead and kind of move into the new tribe tool that we have. And so, my apologies. As was mentioned, this is the coaching series that's going to be that's being built. And part of the reason that we're putting it out there for free to everybody use and get involved in is because we want to find out what's working. So sometimes technology doesn't work. It usually works for other people better than for me. So I put out the latest tribe tool. It's called the I Am activity. And when I put it out the first time, it didn't happen. And so if you have the latest email that was sent right before this call, you'll notice that there is a new tool, and it's called the I Am activity. And so that I Am activity is all about you, and it's another activity to build on you. So does everybody have that by chance? You see it?
Yes, I've got it.
Yep.
Good.
I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I can open it.
Or you can just listen and we'll walk through it. That's fine.
Okay.
So one of the things that, let's back up real quick. Did anybody watch the TEDx talk by Kathy Caprino?
That was really good.
Yes, let's talk about that for a minute.
Her approach on just being brave and how that bravery isn't out there enough, and ways to go about it. So it was good. It was just it needs to be said 100,000 ways 100,000 times.
It does. Do anybody relate to her journey? Just kind of that I was a businesswoman, I was out there, I was doing it, and then boom, my life happened to me.
I haven't gotten to listen to it yet.
Okay.
So
it reminds me the fact that there's something to when women are doing business, they're purpose driven. So they're not bottom line driven. So if they don't see purpose in what they're doing in industry, then they hopefully stop themselves before. I've driven 100 CEOs to the airport, and I always used to ask them, what would you do differently? And they said the thing that they wish they would have done differently was to spend more time with their family and paying attention to their home. So I think maybe women are maybe more prone to do that, actually, to stop and go, what am I doing and how do I align my values with what I value at work and at home? So it's different. So I can relate to that, wanting to do something that makes a difference and not just for a paycheck.
Well, and a lot of our identities are wrapped up in what we do as opposed to who we are. And so, there's a lot of, hopefully you found a lot of joys in this list that you went through. And we're going to build a little bit on one of the things that Kathy mentioned in the video was talking about who you are. So let's talk about a quick activity, networking, what ends up happening when we go to a networking event. And we stick our hand out and we say, hi, I'm Amy Robinson and I, job title. And or we go and we introduce ourselves to somebody and say, hi, what's your name and what do you do? Like, what do you do? And so one of the things that I started to do at one point in time, and it's never easy to do something different because people always pause and look at you like you're crazy because it's different. It's not what they're used to. And I would say, what's your name? And tell me about what you enjoy. And they'd go, okay. And it takes a little bit of thought, but I probably got more response and thank you and genuine conversation from that kind of question, because it gave me much more insight into who they were as a person as opposed to who they were as their job title.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
One of the things that we're looking at doing is the I Am activity that's building on one of the things that Kathy mentioned, which is this idea of who I am. And there's a lot of research about this, about the power of words. And when we say I am, what comes after that changes the trajectory of the direction you go. I am tired. I'm a failure. I am typically, just think about for a moment the things that we say to ourselves day to day about who we are. I am crabby. I am late. I say that one a lot. I am. And so how do we put into our lives who we are? And sometimes we just haven't stopped to think about it. So this activity gives us the opportunity to stop and think about who we really are. So the beginning of the activity says to think of a time or times when you felt fully yourself. When everything was clicking, you felt comfortable in your skin, you felt talented at what you were doing, you felt peaceful and balanced and strong, and all of the things that were in alignment with who you are. And it can be a combination of times. It could be I feel great when I'm dancing. I feel coordinated and I feel strong and I feel wonderful. I feel great when I am working on a car, or I am playing in the yard, or wherever you feel the most comfortable. And it'll be a combination of those things. And then the activity sheet is going to ask you, what were you doing? And you're going to tell a little bit about what you were doing in one event. It can be one full story, or it can be a combination of things that were going. The other part is, who were you with? Who was there? Who was around you? Who were you clicking with? Sometimes we feel funny and smart when we're with certain friends, and we feel just out of our element when we're with other people. So who were you with, and where were you? Where we are, were you at home? Were you in a crowd? Were you out in nature? A lot of people love nature. And then what felt good? So this is a part where we kind of get in touch with more than just our that we felt good. What felt good? Did your body feel good? Did your mind feel good? Did your heart feel good? What parts of you were feeling so in touch with yourself? So the next thing that we'll do is you'll go and you'll take that list and you'll create your I am list. And you're going to use the things that you love list and then the stories that you just created, and you're going to create some I am statements. And they can be one word. They can be, I am, from all of these stories, from all of these things that I love, I can tell that I am resilient. I am joyful. I am peaceful. Or you can make them into sentences, and you can take these scenarios and say, I am graceful under pressure. I am honest in my interactions with people. And so whatever feels good to you, it can be a single word, it can be a sentence, as long as it starts with I am, and it's something positive, then you're good to go. So then one of the last parts of this activity is that you're going to create a strengths and joy inventory. So you're going to look back on all of those things, and you're going to say, what were my strengths that were coming through? And strengths can be anything from being a kind person to being a very organized person. So it can be something very tangible. It can be something very much about your personality. But from all these combinations of things, from your things I love list to all of your I am lists, what are the things that you feel like are your strengths? And then what gave you joy? And then you're going to look at what were the contributing factors. So contributing factors can be people, it can be places, it can be certain conditions. What was going on in some of these scenarios, and maybe it's just a pattern of the scenarios, were there certain people that were always present? Was there a certain type of person that was always present? Was there a place that was always your happy place? And then sometimes conditions. So I think that, Lori, you were talking about going and acting. So maybe there was a combination of conditions that helped you go to that place where you were finding your joy. And think about what those conditions were. And then finally, you are going to come up with what you will do in the next 30 days to begin working toward embracing those strengths, who you are, and engaging in those joys that you've discovered, and creating the conditions to do both. I agree that it's not always the right time in life, and there are certain things that we don't have control over. But how can we start to take steps to create those conditions, to surround ourselves with those people, to go to those places, all the while embracing our strengths, our joys, who we are, and of the things that we love. So that is the activity. No big deal. Please do it this week. By tomorrow would be great. No, I'm just kidding. And that is the activity that we are embarking on next. So what do you think?
That sounds awesome.
I'm excited.
Good, good.
That's a tall order, but yeah,
it is a tall order. It is a tall order, and it's not all going to happen. It's not all going to happen in one moment. And so some of the next steps coming up, just for this coaching series in general, are that we are going to have this call, and we're going to record it, and we'll send out an email with the recording and a little summary of what we just talked about. And then you'll get another video from me on Sunday with the upcoming week. And week 2 is all about building our tribes. So you can look forward to that. In the meantime, this activity is for you to do at your pace as you can, but we will talk about it a little bit and touch on it and build on it next week. So try to get as much done as you can in all of your spare time. It's summer, so find a little porch space, sit by the pool, make sure that you're making time for yourself and space for yourself in doing that. Does anybody have any questions? Got it all figured out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got it all figured out. Good. I know it's hard to make time for ourselves, so I really appreciate you trusting me with your time. I do feel that trust is there, and I appreciate that very much. All right.
Thank you, Amy.
That was great.
Thank you. Good.
Great.
Well,
everybody have a wonderful evening.
Have a wonderful evening. We're getting ready to pack back up and get back in the car. So everybody take your last sip of Gross coffee that's sitting here at the table, your last bite of pancake or chicken fried steak of whatever you ate. We're going to leave a huge tip for Flo. And and we're going to get back in this car and hit the road until we see each other again next week.
Woohoo! Sounds good.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.